In talking to many hiring managers and recruiters, I have created this list of what I call interview bloopers. These are some things that you should definitely not do in your interviews. First of all, focusing on money. Yes, you need money. Yes, you need to get paid. Yes, you have bills. But in the interview, make sure you focus on the value you bring to the company. And by showing them the value you bring to the company, you will be able to get the salary that you want. If you look at the graphic on the slide, you'll notice that the person interviewing for the job, their answer to that question is not even a verbal answer. They held up their, I guess that's a Cash App balance or their Zelle balance. The interviewer asked, "So why do you want to work here?" And instead of telling the employer what attracted them to the role, maybe their mission or company values, they showed them their Zelle or Cash App balance. Not a good thing to do. This is focusing on money, and it is a big no-no for job interviews. When they ask you, why do you want to work here? You're going to show what interested you and what attracted you to the company. All right, so back to the interview bloopers, focusing on money, lack of enthusiasm. Every single minute you are in that face-to-face interview, telephone interview, show enthusiasm. Show enthusiasm in your tone of voice, in your body language, because your impression is made in what you say, but also in what you don't say, which means in your body language. So show enthusiasm in your body language and what you say. And what I mean by body language, your smile, being open instead of sitting with your arms closed. Sit, in the chair openly and professionally and show your enthusiasm and your interest in that job. Trashing past employers is a big interview blooper. Don't ever say anything negative or derogatory about past employers. Yes, be honest and transparent, but always be positive. Please watch the video on common interview questions about why did you leave your last job for tips on how to answer the question, why did you leave your last job? Failure to make eye contact. Showing eye contact shows your interest. It shows that you are engaged. If you're sitting in a job interview and you're looking at the ceiling or out the window, you're not looking very engaged and you don't look interested in the job. Show your enthusiasm and show that you are engaged by making good eye contact with the interviewer. Limp handshake. A limp handshake doesn't show confidence. Make sure that when you shake the interviewer's hand that you give a nice, firm handshake. It shows confidence, it shows energy and enthusiasm. Asking no questions about the company. If you don't ask questions about the company, how will they know you're interested? Make sure you show up with a list of questions to ask the company when you arrive for the interview. Sloppy appearance. When you go to your face-to-face job interviews or you do your video interviews, you should want to make a good first impression. The interviewer will notice your appearance within the first few seconds of meeting you. So, in order to give a good first impression, make sure that your appearance is professional. Watch the video on making a good first impression for ideas on how to dress for the interview. Indefinite response to questions. When you are asked questions, every answer should state why that employer should hire you. So make sure your answers are specific, definite, and if possible, try to answer every question with a SAR story. Overbearing or know it all. There have been several interviews that I have conducted with other executives on the panel that after the interview, they made comments like, I wouldn't hire that person. They would try to take my job. Or that person is a know it all. I wouldn't want them to work here. Now, personally, I wouldn't mind someone who is a know it all or confident. I wouldn't mind that person working for me because I'm going to delegate and they're going to make me look good and make the team look good. But to some people, a know-it-all and someone who's overbearing could come across in a very negative way. So make sure you show your value, you're confident, you show your qualifications, but try your best not to come across as a know-it-all. In other words, don't be afraid to say, I'm not sure, but, or I don't know, but I can find out. Inability to express yourself clearly. Make sure that you are able to articulate your answers clearly, not stuttering and not mumbling. Make sure you give your SAR stories. Try to give as many specific examples as you can when you express yourself. Lack of career direction. Employers like to know that you are highly motivated. They want to know that you are able to learn and that you are willing to grow because a lot of people are not willing to learn new things. Show the employer in the interview that you do have career direction, that you are willing and that you do want to advance and learn new things. Lack of confidence is an interview blooper. Interviewers or companies don't want to hire people who don't believe they can do the job. If you don't believe you can do the job, how are you going to convince them that you can do the job? So walk in there confident with your resume, with your SAR stories, and be prepared to show the employer that you are the person they should hire.